Hello, I'm Jenny Glick, licensed marriage and family therapist, certified sex therapist, but for you, I am a relationship mentor here to have real talk about being in this 3D world of relationship for women who have a spiritual bent, who get that it's not all about this 3D world. So let's talk about why it is that marriage is so hard. The reason why I believe marriage is so challenging and it can bring up the worst parts of us, right? The parts of us that we call shadow, the parts of us that don't come up with other relationships that we have, is that we need to have the container of marriage, of committed long-term relationship, in order to see the parts of ourselves that otherwise we would never see. The parts of you that are so impatient, that are so judgmental, that are so hard on someone, critical, that can drop into blame, the part of you that can be a victim, that part of you probably is not alive anywhere else in your world. If you are like many women who I mentor, you are really competent, successful, you might out-earn your partner, you might be an entrepreneur or work in the C-suite. You might have like everything a woman could want, and yet you find yourself in a relationship in this kind of tug of war where these mucky parts of yourself are coming out and you're projecting them directly onto your partner. And the easiest solution is to imagine that it's their fault, right? And then we go to couples counseling and we log lots of hours and we invest all kinds of resources into this space where, I often say it's like moving furniture around a burning house. Like we're not really getting anywhere. And part of the path of what I like to think of as the well-nourished woman or the woman who is deeply grounded and rooted and learning how to trust herself, it's the path of learning how to back way up. How to back way up so that you can recognize that what is coming forward in your relationship is a mirror for you. It is how it is that you are treating yourself, because you cannot be judgmental of your partner. You cannot blame your partner if that energy frequency is not moving through your body and being first. You have to first move it through this tube that you are, and then deliver it straight out of your mouth in order for it to get to someone else. That means you have to be vibrating at that energy frequency level. For those of you who are familiar with David Hawkins, his really profound work, where he has a demonstration or he creates a graph of the different levels of energy frequency, starting at like 50, which is shame, and then going all the way up to like 1,000. And Jesus is like at 600, and Zoroaster and Ascended Masters, right, are like at 600, 700, 800. And most of us walk around at like 150. And 150 is a place of, where we're emotionally pretty shut down and we're not available for a different kind of experience, okay? And what I want you to hear, this is not some kind of woo-woo bypass, right? My passion is how it is that we take our, whatever your spiritual bent is, and actually weave it into your life, actually be it in your marriage. And most women who I serve have some sort of, spiritual perspective or religious perspective where it's like, oh, we're all one, and peace and love and equanimity and, celebrate diversity, all those beautiful tenets. But then we come into marriage and all of that gets left in your yoga class, right? And the beautiful gift of marriage is if you're courageous enough to see yourself, because you are in this tango with you, this mirror of your partner. And the places where you want to shut down, where you want to make them wrong, it's not about becoming a doormat. It's not about the spiritual bypass of like, oh, we're just going to and it's all going to be better. I get it. You're in a confined space with them. Possibly you've commingled your finances. You might be raising children. There might be autoimmune disorders or cancer diagnoses or financial hardships, like all kinds of real 3D things are happening. And how do you be with all of that? And the more that you collapse into the divisiveness of what's right and wrong, which is what we're seeing all over the place right now, politically, as soon as we collapse into that place, you've missed the answer. And the answer is not in the right and the wrong, that he needs to be doing this or she needs to be doing that, this political party or that political party. That is never the answer. Sorry to burst your bubble. The answer is in the third door. There's a third option. And as long as we galvanize all of our energy around either this or that, I either stay or go, I either get what I want and he's miserable, or I don't get what I want and I'm miserable, right? As long as you're in that place in your body and your being, going back to David Hawkins' chart on the energy frequency with your emotion, you're way down here super low and you can feel it in your body. Your whole body will be clenched and shut down. And that's a protective mode where you're self-protecting and then you're also protecting against the other person. And so the path of utilizing your marriage as a spiritual practice, which is what I believe that it is, it's a container and an opportunity for us to come into deeper and deeper alignment with who we are as women, as human beings, in relationship with whomever your beloved is. And maybe they're not really your beloved right now, right? Because you're so angry with them. I get it. So the first step in this path is to recognize every single time you want to go to the either or. Every single time you want to be divided, every single time you want to make the person wrong or make yourself wrong, that's your stop, drop, and roll moment. That's your moment to breathe and to explore the real estate in your mind, body, and being for where is it that there might be something else available here for me. And usually that availability has something to do with curiosity and stepping into the unknown. And most of us, our system is going to shut down around that because I want to go to the known place where he's wrong or she's wrong. I don't want to go to this open field of possibility where I don't know how it's going to go. But that third door is where we have to go if we want something to change. And your mind, because our minds are always trying to keep us safe, so they're always trying to keep us in a predictable, known state. For those of you who have ever followed Dr. Joe Dispenza, read any of his fantastic books, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is extraordinary. I highly recommend it. He details this very clearly, how it is that our minds want to go to the familiar over and over and over again, which is why it is that you ruminate on how it is that your partner hurt you, how it is that you can't believe that you were so stupid that you did A, B, or C. We want to keep going to that known place, and it creates this kind of track in our body, right? In our thinking, feeling, doing, and believing. And as long as we stay in that place, there's a part of us that is extraordinarily comfortable because we know exactly what it's like to be there. The third door is literally opening the door to the unknown. And part of how you pave that is with my very favorite sentence called, huh. So when your partner is doing something that is aggravating, irritating that old pattern in you, to give yourself the space of, huh, to breathe, to practice whatever your spiritual practice is. All of those hours that you spend doing breath work and meditation and going to yoga or going to your church or synagogue or wherever it is that you go, your altar, your prayer space, that is that moment to metaphorically or literally drop to your knees and breathe and tell yourself, I'm available for the third door. I'm available for something that is not the divisiveness, because you know exactly where their divisiveness will take you. Somebody's right and somebody's wrong, and nobody wants to be wrong, and all of us want to be right, right? And so that's your first step, is to see what it's like for you to be in the unknown for 5 minutes and breathe and notice how your mind is going to wrestle and it's going to tantrum and it's going to want to make you go to the known place. And your ability to stay, it's not the middle path. It's something outside of everything that you've explored before. Your capacity to be there for a period of time and to hang out there and see if you can't plant some seeds of curiosity, plant some seeds of compassion for yourself, plant some seeds of tending to yourself. When you feel really activated, you probably feel a lot of discomfort and you want to have relief, and the relief is making the other person wrong. Instead, turn that gaze back to yourself and ground and take care of yourself. It might be lying on the earth. It might be getting in the sun. It might be putting your feet in a stream or the ocean or a pool of water. It might be listening to birds. Do something to nourish yourself. When we are activated and aggravated, your system requires nourishment. And so you ruminating on whatever it is that your partner did over and over and over again is not going to create any kind of nourishment for you. It's actually going to create a personal famine. What I suggest is that you tend to yourself. Turn your gaze back to yourself. That's the first step. Stepping through the third door to get out of this divisiveness of who's right and who's wrong in your relationship. Your marriage feels really hard because it's bringing you face to face with you. If you're interested in exploring this more, you can check out some of the links below, subscribe, like, hang out here. If this video serves you, share it with a friend, right? Sharing is caring. Thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.